You wake up, you check your phone, you answer messages, you laugh when you're supposed to laugh. And from the outside, nothing looks wrong. But inside, it feels like someone turned the volume down on your life. Good news feels flat. Bad news feels distant. The things that used to excite you barely move you anymore. And the strangest part is, you're not exactly sad. Sadness gives you something to point at. This is different. This is waking up already tired of the day. This is being surrounded by people, entertainment, goals, noise, and still feeling strangely untouched by all of it. So you start wondering, am I lazy? Am I broken? Am I becoming cold? Maybe you don't feel nothing because you don't care. Maybe you don't feel anything anymore because your mind has been protecting you for longer than you realize. Emotional numbness is hard to explain because it doesn't always look serious. Most of the time, it looks normal. You still work, you still reply. You still say, "I'm good," because technically, nothing terrible happened. But privately, you know something feels off. Life starts to feel like you're watching it through glass. You can see everything happening, but you're not fully inside it. People talk about passion, purpose, excitement, love, ambition. And now, they feel more like ideas than emotions. So you keep moving. You scroll when you're bored. You work when you're tired. You distract yourself when you're uncomfortable. You fill every silence before it can speak. But numbness is not nothing. Sometimes numbness is a message. It is the mind saying, "I have felt too much, too often, for too long, and I need to shut something down." There was a time when boredom had space. You could walk without headphones, wait without reaching for a screen, let your thoughts arrive slowly. Now, the mind is rarely alone. From the moment you wake up, the world asks for your attention. Notifications, messages, videos, news, arguments, comparison, other people's happiness, other people's pain. Every few seconds, something new appears. At first, it feels harmless, a quick distraction, a little escape. But over time, the brain gets trained to expect constant stimulation. A quiet walk feels boring. A normal day feels empty. A simple pleasure feels too small. The problem is not that you have no life. The problem is that your nervous system is being asked to react to too much life all at once. So the mind adapts. It lowers the emotional volume. It turns real life into background noise. Not because you are weak, because something inside you is overwhelmed. Most people don't numb themselves on purpose. It happens slowly. You feel stressed, so you scroll. You feel lonely, so you watch something. You feel anxious, so you keep busy. You feel hurt, so you tell yourself you're fine. And for a moment, it works. The discomfort fades. The silence disappears. The feeling gets pushed away. But every emotion you avoid doesn't vanish. It waits. And if you keep avoiding the same feelings long enough, your mind learns that feeling itself is dangerous. So it doesn't just block sadness. It starts blocking everything. Joy gets quieter. Excitement fades. Love feels harder to reach. Because the same wall that keeps pain out also keeps life out. You wanted relief from the heavy emotions, but now even the beautiful ones feel far away. You didn't mean to disappear from your own life. You were just trying to get through it. There is another reason life can start to feel flat. Too much fast pleasure can make ordinary pleasure harder to feel. When every spare moment is filled with short videos, scrolling, and instant entertainment, the brain gets used to intensity. It starts craving the next hit, the next clip, the next message. the next thing that makes you feel something quickly. But real life is slower than the internet. Real confidence takes time. Real friendship takes effort. Real progress is often boring. So normal life begins to feel like it isn't enough. You can have a decent day and still feel unsatisfied. You can finish a task and feel nothing. Not because life has no meaning, but because your attention has been stretched so thin that meaning can't land deeply anymore. Meaning needs presence. It needs time. But modern life keeps pulling you away before anything has the chance to become real. And eventually, life becomes a list. Wake up, work, reply, eat, scroll, sleep, repeat. Nothing is terrible, but nothing feels alive either. The way back is not always dramatic. Sometimes it begins with doing less, not quitting your life, not disappearing, not becoming a different person overnight, just creating enough quiet for your feelings to return. A walk without headphones, a meal without a screen, a night where you don't drown every thought in noise. At first, this can feel uncomfortable, because when the distractions stop, the emotions you avoided may start coming back. The sadness, the anger, the loneliness, the questions. But this is not failure. This is feeling returning. You don't need to force passion. You don't need to shame yourself into motivation. You just need to stop abandoning yourself every time silence appears. Maybe you don't feel anything anymore because you stopped caring. But maybe that's not true. Maybe you cared so much, for so long, in a world that kept asking for more, that your mind learned to go quiet. Maybe the numbness is not the end of you. Maybe it is a signal that you are overstimulated, a signal that you are tired, a signal that your real life has been buried under too much noise. Maybe the answer is not to chase a bigger life. Maybe the answer is to return to a real one, to notice small things again, to let silence feel strange until it feels safe. Because you are not a machine. You were never meant to be endlessly productive, endlessly entertained, endlessly okay. You were meant to feel. And if everything feels numb right now, it does not mean you are broken. It may just mean your mind has been protecting you from a world that never stops speaking. So start small. Turn something off. Sit with yourself. Let the quiet come back. And slowly, maybe not all at once, but slowly, life might start reaching you again.